Recognising and celebrating the best of Irish business for 17 years, EY Entrepreneur of the Year, home of the entrepreneurs.
Nice to see you. Thank you for shopping with us.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I love business, I love on the floor, I love selling.
Well, you know that you are in the best store in Dublin for Irish products?
I will be on the floor selling with the staff, even though I'm a CEO of the company. There's no helicopter view when you're busy. You need to have all hands because the sales will go out the door.
Hello, how are you?
I learn a lot, I talk to the staff, I listen to the customers. It keeps me in touch with the business. I can't do the till though because the till is electronic now and I'm used to remember the old-fashioned tills. They all know when Marion is around. You'll need help there with the till in a minute.
Over 80% of our products are Irish designed.
We got 3 new designers. We got Vivian Walsh.
Our customers love to hear the story, and that's what we sell. We're selling a story. So every transaction takes time.
Do you usually shop here?
Oh, Mum's very much the boss. She has incredible energy, and she'll kill me for this, but she is known throughout the company as the Duracell Bunny. She just has almost a love affair for this business.
Well, I always wanted to be successful. Anything I did. And I think it came because I didn't go to college and I wanted to prove to myself I could do something else.
I'm from Sligo. I spent a bit of time in Dublin in school and then spent about 25 years working overseas. I worked for a US multinational. I started off as a sales rep and managed to make my way up to run that business. Essentially doing turnarounds, going to companies that were losing money and really trying to fix them and put them back on track. But I really wanted to have my own company. You happy with the turf?
Yeah, very happy, extremely happy, yeah.
An opportunity came up to buy into a company called SIS, which was a sports company. I took a salary drop of about 98%, which is always interesting. I came from pharmaceutical industry, didn't know anything about pitches. So we've started here about 3 days ago. By tomorrow evening, we should have a new pitch ready to play tomorrow if they want. Okay. I suspect we're probably the most experienced company. We've done over 170 of these type of pitches. Clients we have are Barcelona, Juventus, Manchester United. It's a combination of having the right turf, a very experienced crew of people, and you've got to be prepared to take a risk because it can go wrong. And when it goes wrong, it's in front of maybe 50, 100, 200 million people. I'm going to head up to the tops here, have a look at the pitch. We're nearly halfway, see how we're doing.
So generally it's up at 4. So I get up at 4 a.m. That's 9 o'clock in Ireland, which has to be really done. It's a pain, but you have to do it. I've kind of got a bit better with my time. Before it was, 100% work every day, 7 days a week. And now I take Saturdays off. Trustive eliminates fraud in e-commerce. We work with some of the largest global players in mobile and banking to identify their customers and confirm that people are who they say they are. We look at probably at least 1,000 pieces of information over a customer's journey to purchase something online, and we make a decision in that in a quarter of a second. If you're looking at really high-end US brands today, Hollister, Abercrombie and Fitch, no one ships internationally. And the reason they don't ship internationally is the fear of fraud. So what happens is fraud is 20 billion. But the fear of fraud, the lost opportunity is actually 100 billion business. I moved out 12 weeks ago. Is it what I would have rather to do? Of course not. I'm Irish and I love Ireland and I love being at home. But it's very rewarding and they're really big markets and I think that's the key to everything.
We sat underneath where the Kilblarney stone.
Okay.
And the pennies would drop.
From their pockets, is it?
The pockets when they went back.
Right.
And we'd be underneath it as kids, picking them up.
My friend Martina, we were the same age. We used to come in our Wellington boots, go into the wishing well in the water and take out the money.
Yeah.
Because I left school at 16, I had a huge hang-up on my life about not being educated. I always felt that I was at disadvantage. I would have had a huge inferiority complex. I probably think that came a small bit as well from where I was in the family. I was, say, 5th down, there were 7 of us. And I think my father, I had to fight for my position to prove that I could do things as well. For recognition maybe from him.
Well, everything emanated from Dad. He never stopped it, from fixing watches to running a Hackney service.
He did, because he was such an entrepreneur, Pascal, because he had such a futuristic mind.
He had cinemas, he had nightclubs, he had discos, he had snooker halls, and one after the other, they all failed. But as any entrepreneur really does, is he gets motivated by those failures to succeed and wanting to succeed even more.
When we came to the village, there was busloads of Americans coming in to see the castle, but not leaving one penny in Blarney. So that's where my father got this great idea of opening a tourist shop. And that's where he got the idea of building the thatched cottage.
Here it is, Pascal, where it all started.
That's where it all started, Marion.
Hello.
You'd fit more than 10 people into that in the good days.
Look at it. It's smaller than I thought it was. I can't believe I started my career in this thatched cottage.
You did?
Down here were all the errands, so we'd have shelving down here. You'd put the slower stock at the end because you wouldn't sell as many, and you'd always put the stock at eye level that would sell the most of. This is where I learned how to buy and sell, and customers. This is exactly where it happened.
Oh. It's unrealistic. We can't imagine it. We can't imagine that this little unit here bought that big unit over there. And this is what started on it. This is a magic piece of history. He was the only man in the world that I saw that could walk onto a bus full of Americans and now he'd say, I'm going to take some money out of your pockets. He was the only man that I could ever believe could do actually. He talked the money out of their pockets.
The 80s for me were just really grey in Ireland. Everything was incredibly conservative. If you had even a slightly radical thought, you didn't fit in. I felt I enjoyed doing business and trying to do business, and this wasn't a place that I could do it. I'm back now 6 years. It's a wonderful place, Ireland. It's changed quite dramatically. I was very keen, both my wife and I, that our kids were educated in Ireland at secondary level, and it seemed very logical to come back here. For me, it means a lot more travel. That's probably the principal downside. This week coming up, I'm going to go to meetings in London on Tuesday morning, and then I'll fly to Istanbul, and then I'll take a midnight flight to Krasnodar in southern Russia, where we're tendering for a project. The following morning, look at our stadium pitch at Spartak Moscow, and then I'll fly to Madrid. And that's maybe not a normal week, but not far off. I think the most difficult thing is probably on my family, because my wife and children, they're now teenagers. I probably could have seen them a bit more.
It's quite unusual for him to be home for any length of time.
Thursday.
His ability to keep going, not lose sight of where he wants to get to, And yes, his drive, his energy. He just never seems to tire.
You've got to want to get out of bed in the morning. Yeah, it's not a 9-to-5 job. They always say that when you stop taking the 7 o'clock flight in the morning, you start taking the 10 o'clock flight, it's time to get out.
What can I say? He's a machine, I suppose. Machine. A robot. Yeah. He'd be up all night working on things, and his phone will still go off in the middle of the night. Yeah, he never turns it off.
How are you? Great to see you.
How you doing? Hi, good to see you.
Good. You can say it's about having the right funds, the right backers. It's all about people.
All right. See you later, Alan.
Get the right people around you, and you'll never fail.
Will we have a look at this new website, so lads? Yeah. Hey, Vaughn.
So, it hasn't been easy to get to where I am, obviously. The journey personally has been hard, you know.
What's your opinion on this?
My dad's friend had a butcher shop in the English market, and I used to clean the butcher's box and serve the shop.
Welcome back to your roots. You haven't forgotten much, have you?
I haven't, no. I was just 12 and a half, 13. Desperate hard work. You know, I was shy and small, and you wouldn't be long toughening up, you know.
And there was a little fella called George.
My youngest guy is 21, but I couldn't have imagined sending him to work at 13, you know. For different times, you know, and it done me no harm anyway. I left school at 15. I worked with my dad for years, decided to go back to college, and became a chef.
Up there, Taste of Thailand. So I was the head chef there with a guy called Jim Ryan.
Great laugh. We were like friends more than me being an employer to him. He was fantastic, never sick. Always there beforehand. If you started at 3, he was there at 2. He was just incredible. But he left every night at 11 o'clock, before the pub closed.
The drink, it just crept up on me, and it became a huge problem.
One day I went into him, we sat down, we were chatting away, and I just said, Pat, I need to talk to you. And he looked at me and I said, Pat, you're an alcoholic. I said, oh, Patrick's still here, 300 yards away, there's an AA, and I suggest you go up there.
Got to the stage, yeah, it got pretty bad, that I was fearful for his life. So I gave him the ultimatum and told him to leave. Yeah, but thank God it woke him up.
The simplest way of looking at it, when drink costs you more than money, it's time to stop. I had a couple of kind of false starts, and I haven't drank this century. And you know, the walk over here, you just coming down here at night, I used to drink up there, and amazing really to be free, you know.
I think I needed a fresh start. I was stuck in 2 streets, and I needed to come up with something new, something fresh, and a complete lateral change.
So this was the beginning of anything I've done from then on. This was called Talk World, and it was Cork's first internet cafe. Hi Raja, how are you?
Hello, hi, how are you?
My wife, for me, you sit there at a desk, and we started off with computers. Thanks very much. Oh, that looks great. There you go. And then we started phones. We used to open at 9 and close at 11. At the same time, I was the chef in Taste of Thailand and going to A up the street. No one had laptops and no one had internet at home. It was like, you know, you'd have to throw people out at night. It's great memories here. Great memories of starting off. You know, you could see like it was tiny. You know, we ended up with a ton of these things. What I am kind of at my core is a problem solver, or an opportunity. See, here's a problem, here's an opportunity, put them together. We set up a phone card company called Excel, and done extraordinarily well. I mean, it was going really, really well. And at the time, you know, we were selling like China 1 cent a minute, Pakistan 4 cent a minute, Bangladesh 4 cent a minute. But what happened was the mobile carrier said, well, if we can give all these people who are now living in Ireland great deals, they'll come onto our networks. There are companies fail every day. It was a very tough time. The attitude in Ireland is that if anyone has a failure, that it's like a complete black mark against them. Instead of saying, let's get people started again. Very like the USA thing. You know, guy goes down, gets off his feet, starts again. And there's incredible admiration for that.
When we hit the recession in 2008, 2009, first of all, we thought it was going to be a huge negative for Kilkenny, but it wasn't. It was an opportunity. We were able to negotiate better break clauses, better rents, better deals, and we opened 6 shops during the 4 years of the recession.
You had a lot of people cutting wages by 15%. We didn't have an awful lot of fat to cut. And I have to say that's all down to Marion, because Marion's been through a recession before.
We didn't have any redundancies or any pay cuts. We really tried to hold very, very firm. And that was on the back of advice that my grandfather had given to my mum back in a recession in the early to mid 80s. And his advice was, when everyone is running for the hills, go the other way and make yourself stand out and take the market share that's being left behind you.
Is there a plan to bring that 8% back?
Yeah.
Because you're well up in clothing, you're 3% up. If you can bring this back, I know you can do it.
Yeah. No,
this is absolutely easy to do. You're going to do this. That recession was nothing like the recession that I met in 2001, 2003. Oh my God. There was SARS, the 11th of September, the foot and mouth. The turnover went down, down, down and down. I hit rock bottom. I mean, to think that all of a sudden what you thought you were good at, you weren't good at anymore. And the confidence in myself and other people had no confidence in me either. It wasn't just myself. We just felt I wasn't going to be able to do this. We left home about 7:30, 8:15 every morning. I would not leave the office until I had everything done, and my husband would be at home. Let me know when you're in Coachford and I'd put on the dinner. I mean, I have a young family, so yeah, I did it. What was driving me was survival, the challenge of being successful. I wanted to keep being successful. Within about 18 months, we had a break even. And the year after, we were profitable. And the year after, we were more profitable.
I wasn't here for the Celtic Tiger, but there is a positive to a recession. People actually have to get out and do something, and it's been really amazing around Sligo. I mean, I've seen businesses start up that you just think, wow, it's fantastic. But to get out of these recessions, you need to be encouraging people, because you're not going to be successful without taking risks. I don't know any entrepreneurs who have been continually successful. I certainly haven't. I know what it's like to make bad mistakes, and I did them for the multinationals that I worked for. You know, I remember deals where I've lost them 45, 50 million, you know, in a day. My mistake, my fault, my responsibility. But I didn't get thrown out the door. They looked at it and said, "Okay, bit stupid there, George, but let's keep going." From my perspective, I don't see anything in this country that will stop us succeeding. It's there. It's all around the country.
Okay, so we're online.
We're a small company with big ambition, and I think we need to have big ambition to take this to the next level. We do see ourselves as an international company eventually. That's our goal.
You going to run the meeting, Greg?
I will. So we'll kick off, guys, and look at the same.
If you're going to keep good people, they want opportunities within a company to move on, to move forward. This is something that I'm trying to get better at, because you need to leave them off if there's no risk. And like Greg has come up with so many ideas.
For 3 years, I've been messing with the States. We're now in a position that we have to either say we're going after this properly or we're not. I'm sure we're going to meet somewhere in the middle, and it will be probably not happening as quickly as I would like, but it's also not going to be as slow as Marion would like. Yeah, okay.
I just think we need to talk a little bit more about when we're doing things, because you're doing things that I don't know about, and then you think I know about it, and so I don't mind risking money, but I want it to be successful. That's why you sold those pieces of Waterford glass. They were how much each?
I think it's 5,700 and
11,000 euros, 2 vases.
Yeah.
Well done. That's absolutely fantastic. I'm much more confident. I see the future very bright. I'm very positive about it. I've never been so positive.
Coming to America personally was really hard. I actually didn't expect it to be so hard. Apartments, family. Scott's over here working for the summer, but he goes home next week. So then it's just, our backs to the wall and we're on our own for the first time in like 27 years, 28 years.
The one thing I can say, he's not forgetting his family either. So this is why I'm over here, because he's done so much for our family. There's no way I'm going to say I'm not going to do it now. I'm going to follow every path he wants to follow, as hard as it may be, but we're with each other.
Living in New York, a global business, huge deals being signed. I couldn't comprehend it. God opened the gates of hell and left me out.
The entrepreneurs you've been watching are all finalists in this year's EY Entrepreneur of the Year Awards. Other finalists include Tony Judge and Jerry McKiernan of Clubs to Hire.
There's been a lot of blood, sweat and tears put into it. It just doesn't happen overnight.
We're actually having a ball, and it's a side effect of a golf business that you get to play quite a bit of golf.
Andrew Murphy of Sláinte Healthcare.
I guess I wouldn't be the most auspicious founder of a healthcare technology company. I had no background in healthcare, and I'm not a software developer.
Dermot Smurfett of Game Account Network.
You only get to sell your company once. And if you do, you just have to assume that you're going to get the axe.
The finalists are answering questions now on the Entrepreneurs Hangout on eoi.ie. The awards will be screened on RTE1 on October 23rd at 10:50. Visit the RTE player for more.